6:43, you're watching Breakfast from the BBC, and Ukraine has declared martial law in part of the country after 3 of its naval ships were seized by Russia.
Tensions flared when the vessels collided on Sunday off the coast of Crimea, which was annexed by Moscow 4 years ago. Now, Ukraine's president has described the move as an act of aggression and says the new measures will focus on tightening security. We're joined now from Bristol by Rainer Elk-Anders, who's a specialist in Russian and Ukrainian politics at Bath Spa University. Thank you very much for joining us this morning on Breakfast. Can you put into context the significance of this latest act, or this act of aggression, as it's being called, by the Russians against the Ukrainian fleet?
Yes, of course. Russia is certainly sort of opening sort of another front in this war with Ukraine, and what we have is a creeping annexation of the Sea of Azov, which is like a northern extension of the Black Sea, and the move to attack the Ukrainian vessels is really just sort of one move. But if we actually put everything together, then as an aggregate, Russia is really trying to sort of strategically gain territory here. And this will cause immense political and also economic problems for Ukraine.
So what are the implications of this? Because Russia has been concerned that Ukraine is west-leaning, so to speak. And what are the concerns Russia has about this political shift, and what would be the impact then on the West that the Ukraine is leaning towards?
Yes, well, Russia obviously would like to have a government in Ukraine that would be pro-Russian, and if Russia cannot achieve this, then Russia has obviously for quite some time then pursuing a policy where it would like to then weaken Ukraine politically and economically. And of course, the question for us is why is this relevant? And of course, it's very relevant in many ways, because Russia for a long time has been trying to strategically to explore and also to exploit what it considers Western vulnerabilities. And what we have in the Sea of Azov is a situation which could actually also dilute NATO's capabilities. And there are a few things that NATO, but also the international community, could and should probably do in this case.
Such as what? What can be done?
From a Ukraine perspective, Ukraine itself obviously has just declared martial law, which just shows also the limitations that Ukraine has. It has got basically no significant navy. It is absolutely sort of outnumbered militarily. So from what NATO can do would be, first of all, help to keep the Kerch Strait open, which is the connection basically between the Black Sea and the Sea of Azov, because it is against international maritime law to keep this blocked. NATO should also really go beyond just expressing concern about the situation, and there should be also really consideration by NATO to start a Lend-Lease program for military hardware to be sold to Ukraine, and furthermore also to maybe even think about a UN mission to allow the Kerch Strait to remain open. Because for Ukraine, it is obviously of huge concern that this very important waterways is blocked, and raises really obviously the threat also that Russia is going to sort of annex what is really an internal water between Russia and Ukraine.
We'll be keeping a close eye on it. Dr. Rainer Elk-Anders, thank you very much for talking to us and explaining the situation. Thank you.